Hotel Mario. Greetings, my children. I just feel like it's been forever. Jesus Christ. Did you guys miss me? It's been almost 2 weeks. Or maybe 2 weeks, depending on when I release this video. What was I saying? Oh yes, it is I, TheMentok, the Prophet, YouTube's savior. The game I actually wanted to talk about is something else. About Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Wait, don't click away. Don't. Hear me out. Alright? Everyone, let's not get hasty. Okay, so this came to me in a dream. We have Zelda now, Link's Awakening being remade, right? And Link's Awakening is already a completely zany game that was released for the Game Boy Color back in the day. Game Boy then re-released for Game Boy Color as Link's Awakening D-Game, but that's a different story. In there we had a different celebration of Nintendo, let's say. So in this game you had Goombas, you had Kirby, you had just all types of different, you had Chain Chomps, you have all types of different things from the Mario universe, etc., etc. And there's a reason for that. The developers some room to just kind of branch out and just change up the Zelda franchise a little bit. So I think the same thing happened with Super Mario Land 2. See, Super Mario Land, whatever, a pocket version of Super Mario, where you're going to save Princess Daisy. It's a simple level-to-level progression type of game. Super Mario Land 2 is just the weirdest thing ever. The main villain is Wario. So
What's going on, Tommy? I'm not Tommy.
it's Wario's first appearance. He, for some reason, while Mario was doing stuff in the first game, he decides to come out and take over Mario's land. And yeah, for some reason, this game has Mario as a greedy leader of his own kingdom. Like, you can tell Mario's full of himself. He has like a statue toy version of himself just laying around with the 3 little pigs captive in there. I just have a lot of questions about what's going on in this whole game entirely, but that's beside the point. This takes place in actual Mario Land. We hear about Super Mario Galaxy, Odyssey, like he owns the place, but this is the first game where I feel like it's actually his. It's like Mario's castle. That's what we're doing. We're collecting 6 golden coins throughout this land to gain access to Mario's castle and kick out Wario. Now, the story is just kind of weird. This is from the instructions booklet itself. The enclosed instruction booklet. It says, while I was away crusading against the mysterious alien Tatanga in Sarasaland, which is in first Mario Land, an evil creep took over my castle and put the people of Mario Land under his control with a magic spell. The intruder goes by the name of Wario, and he's been jealous of my popularity ever since we were boys, and has tried to steal my castle many times. It seems he's succeeded this time, and he scattered the 6 golden coins from my castle all over Mario Land. These golden coins are guarded by those under Wario's spell, and without these coins, we can't get into the castle to deal with Wario. We must collect the 6 coins, attack Wario in the castle, and save everybody. Now, can you just fathom what's being said here? At some point in time, Mario was ousted by Wario in a castle that exists in Mario Land. Can you just imagine this game on the Switch in just a full open world adventure? Let's talk about like different kingdoms of Mario's land, and at the very center is Mario's freaking castle. Like, this could just completely be removed from every other story that we've ever seen with Mario. It's just a different looking Mario, similar to the different looking Link in Link's Awakening, right? So are we on the same page? Am I going crazy? What if I said this was a prediction?
You're a fucking prophet.
Oh my god, I forgot the time stone. And I know what you guys are thinking. Mario 64, come on. That's the ultimate Mario game. That's the one that deserves to be remade. No. And I'm gonna show you why. Alright? Before y'all start acting up in the comments. No, but for real, let me show you why. So Super Mario Land is split up into zones. Not sure where I heard that one before. We have the Tree Zone, the Space Zone, Macro Zone, Pumpkin Zone, the Mario Zone, the Turtle Zone, and then finally Mario's Castle. So essentially you're going from zone to zone, completing levels and defeating the boss at the end to collect the golden coin. Once you collect the coin, you need to get all 6 to gain access to Mario's castle, and there you can take on Wario. But this is where it gets a little bit weird. We have a bunch of enemies that we've probably never seen before in the Mario series, and you have such interesting bosses like a bird and a rat and the 3 little pigs and this octopus. Okay, so the bosses aren't that creative, but hear me out, right? Here's the mechanic. You need to go through all these zones, and you can see at the bottom, they encourage you to collect coins, and wait, what is this? Is that a kill counter?
Murder me, I go murder them. No matter what them do, them get murder. No matter what them do, them get murder. No matter what them do, them get murder.
Yeah, that's right. They encourage you to murder as many people as possible in this game. And that counter doesn't go away either from level to level. That stays with you until you've gotten that game over. So it's really encouraging you to put the pedal to the metal and just murder anyone you come across. Didn't the story say that the people were hypnotized by Wario's magic? So are you killing your own people? Look, I've learned not to think too much about this stuff. So you go and you collect all 6 coins. Now they encourage you to collect coins and kill enemies because this gives you more lives and more bonuses and power-ups. And at the very end, there's 2 ways of completing the level. Either you go through the bottom door or ring the bell and go through the top door. And ringing the bell is always the trickier way of getting through, but this unlocks a mini game like a crane puzzle or one of these button puzzles. I'm not really sure what they're called.
Ladder game.
Either way, they will earn you either power-ups or more lives that you can use to fight against the bosses or save until you get to Wario. Now, the final level is very tricky, and I think they did this on purpose. Mario's castle is quite brutal, and so is the fight with Wario at the very end. You only have to hit him 3 times, but he is not playing around in this game. And he has power-ups just like you, so he transforms into different forms that you've been using throughout the entire game. Now, if you get game over, that's it. You lose all 6 coins. And in Dark Souls style, you gotta start all over. But the thing is, you only have to fight the bosses again, but now that you've lost all your lives, chances are you're not gonna get through this whole game without getting more lives, so you gotta play more levels and kill more enemies and collect more coins. So it's a catch-22, right? And the thing is, once all that's complete, you finally kick Wario out, and that's the end of the game. So, now that I've explained it, this mechanic can be expanded on to a hell of a bigger level, and I want to say maybe a sequel rather than a remake would be better in this land. So let's say Super Mario Land 3, which exists, I know, that's Wario Land 1. But let's say those never existed, and that's a separate series entirely. Let's continue the Super Mario Land series, a smaller scale adventure with more focus around mechanics. Let's really punish people for losing, so we encourage them to play the levels to collect power-ups and gain lives. Am I just explaining Mario in a nutshell?
No.
I'm just saying that this is a perfect rubric for a remake. 4. Can you imagine a little redesign of Mario in a different world? This could be a completely different Mario entirely, who is in love with Daisy, and Peach doesn't exist in this world, and now we can finally do something with Daisy as a character and Wario as a character rather than just sticking them in Mario Party and sports games. I mean, this opens the door to a better mechanic between Mario and Wario, and I would say a remake would be the perfect, let's say, test to see the basic interest in this rather than rehashing New Super Mario Bros. Yet again. Super Mario Maker 2 has been really making strides in the industry after its release. So let's even test it out, Nintendo, by putting a Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 kit in there for people to use. And now they're starting to make levels similar to these. Now it gets so popular that you want to remake this game and just make it into this beautiful, large, open world. Nah, it doesn't have to be open world, but you get my point. To make this video, I replayed the game just to make sure that I didn't have my nostalgia glasses on. I think it's important not to just look back into the past and say, oh, what a great game. No, I replayed this bitch, and it's still good. And the music, it just feels like a party going on the entire time. I feel like I'm in an amusement park. And how do I know for sure that this remake would work? It's kind of retouched by ROM hackers, and they released a Super Mario Land 2 DX version, which is completely patched in color. And this really just adds a fresh coat of paint to the game. I would say if you can try this out, definitely take a look at this because It just really brings out the colors, and the Game Boy textures look absolutely amazing with the splash of color. And it really did make this video worth making, because I wasn't even sure if I was just talking crazy. I think it's a cool factor that you have to continue doing a boss rush until you beat the final boss of the game. And that's something that could be explored a little bit more and enhanced in a remake environment. I really think that there's potential for that. I'm not just making this video just to be funny. I really think that there's some gold in this simple title. And even if Nintendo were to sell it at a lower price point, or even coupled with Super Mario Land as an additional remake, and you remake the two of them and then put them back out into the world on the Switch and say, hey, here you go, $25, $30 for both games. I think that would be an amazing value. It'd rebirth two great games and give some life to some characters that definitely needed. People love Daisy and Wario, but it's just they're not utilized to their full potential. And I really think this would be a good avenue for Nintendo to take in the future, especially if they're starting with Link's Awakening. Maybe they can do that with several Game Boy games of the past. Kirby, they already did it with Metroid too. So I see them re-looking at certain series and certain series that had Game Boy releases. Hey, so why not give this a try, Nintendo? But that's just my prediction. I would like to hear what you think in the comments below. Have you played this game before? Does it hold a special place in your heart? Or am I just crazily rambling today? But of course, my children, I didn't forget about comment of the week. And this week it does go to I Am Lost 27. Oh my gosh, I Am Lost? You finally made it to comment of the week? He's been trying week after week after week. And finally, I'm gonna give it to him. I Am Lost says, regarding Mario Maker 2, this looks like a good game, lol. Would love to play it, but sadly I'm a PC, PS4 man, and I can't afford all these wonders in the world. You have to make sacrifices, and I choose the route of Red Dead Redemption 2 and Spider-Man. Well, hey, I won't fault you for picking. A great man makes hard decisions. And so, I am lost. Maybe you've been found. So I'm lost. Maybe with this decision, you found yourself. Maybe you are now found. Think about that for a moment. You knew what you wanted, and you went, and you got it. To me, you don't sound lost. No, my child. You sound found. Anyway, my children, that will do it for this video. I will be releasing the Sonic Timeline Part 2 very soon, and honestly, I would not miss this one because it just gets even weirder and weirder as I go along, and I'm probably tearing my hair out trying to piece all this together myself. But for now, I will leave you with this video. Don't forget to follow me on social media at TheMentok on Twitter and at The Prophet Awakens on Instagram. And once again, my children, the Prophet has spoken.